In the depths of the Akashic records, where the echoes of countless lifetimes intertwine, lies a profound secret, one that reveals why some souls choose to return from the spiritual realms to walk among the living once more. These divine interventions are not mere coincidences, but sacred acts guided by the intricate laws of karma, divine justice, and the universal consciousness that connects all beings. As we explore the mystical journey of the soul through reincarnation, we uncover a divine purpose rooted in unconditional love and higher compassion, a purpose that transcends time and space itself. The mystery of these soul reunions beckons us to understand the divine plan, where every act of intervention is a testament to the interconnectedness of all life and the eternal quest for spiritual salvation. In the sacred depths of the Akashic records, where the eternal archives of divine knowledge reside, the journey of the soul unfolds as a divine tapestry woven through countless incarnations. The records reveal that the soul, before manifesting into the physical realm, exists in a state of pure consciousness, an essence of divine light, unencumbered by form or limitation. Yet, from this state of radiant unity, the soul chooses to descend into the material world, driven by a profound purpose: the evolution of consciousness and the attainment of spiritual mastery. The process of reincarnation is not arbitrary. It is a sacred, orchestrated passage designed by divine justice and universal love. As the records disclose, each lifetime serves as a vital chapter in the soul's ongoing quest for balance, understanding, and divine harmony. The soul enters each incarnation with specific lessons, unique karmic patterns, and opportunities for growth, an intricate dance between free will and divine guidance. This journey is not merely about experiencing duality or suffering, but is profoundly about the soul's evolution toward the realization of its divine nature. In this evolutionary path, the soul is akin to a traveler navigating through the realms of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual planes. Each lifetime offers a new perspective, a chance to confront shadow aspects, resolve karmic debts, and deepen the understanding of love, compassion, and divine truth. The records reveal that these patterns of incarnation are carefully chosen before birth, aligning with the soul's current level of consciousness and its long-term spiritual objectives. Sometimes a soul reincarnates in a familiar environment, seeking to resolve unresolved karma from a previous life. Other times it ventures into unfamiliar territory, compelled by the divine purpose of awakening to higher truths. The spiritual journey through reincarnation is a gradual ascent, a process of refining the soul's vibrational frequency until it approaches the divine state of Christica consciousness. As the soul progresses, the lessons become increasingly profound, challenging its capacity for unconditional love, forgiveness, and surrender to divine will. The records emphasize that the soul's ultimate aim is to achieve harmony with divine laws, karma, dharma, and divine justice, so that it may eventually return to its original unified state of divine consciousness. Within these countless lifetimes, the soul gathers a wealth of experience, wisdom, and compassion, each incarnation a stepping stone on the ladder of spiritual evolution. The records reveal that the soul's purpose is not merely to learn and grow, but to embody divine qualities, patience, humility, love, and to become a beacon of divine light in the material world. This process is akin to a master sculptor, gradually revealing the divine form hidden within the marble, chipping away at illusion until the true nature of the divine self is unveiled. The records also disclose that the soul's journey is deeply interconnected with the collective consciousness of humanity. As each soul advances through its incarnations, it contributes to the collective evolution of consciousness, lifting the vibration of the entire planet. The divine plan involves a gradual awakening, where the soul's progress inspires others and fosters a greater understanding of the unity that underpins all life. In the context of Atlantean consciousness, the records reveal that many souls incarnated during that ancient civilization's height, carrying with them the knowledge of divine science and spiritual technology. Yet, as the Atlantean era declined into chaos and separation, many souls found themselves caught in the cycles of karma, seeking to balance their deeds across many lifetimes. It is through this lens that we understand why some souls reappear in times of crisis or upheaval. guided by divine compassion to assist, uplift, and restore harmony. The soul's journey through reincarnation is also a testament to the divine mercy that permeates creation. Every lifetime is an opportunity to correct, learn, and expand consciousness, an act of divine love that persists across the ages. As the records reveal, this journey is not linear but spiral, with each incarnation building upon the previous, moving the soul closer to its ultimate goal, union with the divine source and the realization of its divine nature. Thus, the purpose of multiple lifetimes is rooted in the soul's desire for self-awareness and divine reunion. The soul seeks to balance karma, to heal wounds, and to embody the divine qualities that facilitate its return to the unity from which it originated. It is a sacred pilgrimage, a journey through darkness into light, through ignorance into knowledge, through separation into oneness. In this sacred odyssey, the soul is never alone. The divine guides, the higher self, and the universal consciousness are ever present, illuminating the path and revealing the divine purpose behind each incarnation. The records whisper that the soul's ultimate destiny is to transcend the cycles of rebirth altogether, achieving mastery over the material plane and returning to the divine source as a perfected expression of divine love. In closing, the journey through reincarnation is a testament to the divine plan woven into the fabric of creation. The soul's multiple lifetimes serve as classrooms of transformation, each lesson bringing it closer to the realization of its divine potential. As we meditate upon the sacred truths held within the Akashic records, we come to understand that every incarnation is an act of divine mercy, an opportunity for the soul to evolve, to awaken, and to ultimately reunite with the eternal source of all life. The divine purpose is clear: to evolve in love, to embody divine truth, and to return home, whole, enlightened, and united with the infinite. As we continue our sacred journey into the depths of spiritual understanding, the whispers of the soul's eternal voyage grow clearer. The previous revelations illuminated that each incarnation is a chapter in the divine unfolding, a testament to the soul's relentless pursuit of awakening, love, and mastery over the material plane. Yet, beneath this grand tapestry lies an intricate, divine law that governs all of existence, the law of karma and divine justice. It is through this sacred principle that we begin to comprehend why certain souls are compelled, by the very fabric of their divine design, to intervene in the lives of others, sometimes at great personal cost. In the silent chambers of the Akashic records, it is written that every thought, word, and deed leaves an indelible imprint, an energetic signature that echoes across time and space. These impressions form the karmic threads that weave the destiny of each soul. As an archaeologist of spiritual mysteries, I perceive these threads as sacred pathways, guiding the soul's evolution through a series of lessons designed to balance the scales of justice that the High Creator himself set into motion at the dawn of creation. The law of karma is not a system of punishment, but a divine mechanism of balance and correction. It is rooted in the understanding that the soul seeks harmony with its divine source, an unchanging unity with the Christ consciousness. When a soul acts out of ignorance, fear, or selfishness, it creates ripples of discord in the fabric of divine harmony. These ripples or karmic debts must be resolved, either within this lifetime or across many incarnations. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, ensures that justice is served, not through condemnation, but through the natural laws that restore. Equilibrium. Nos registros akáshicos está escrito que, muitas vezes, o que parece ser uma intervenção de alguém que salva uma alma é, na verdade, uma expressão da compaixão divina. Essas almas que sentem o chamado para ajudar, muitas vezes, estão carregando seus próprios karmas de vidas passadas, de ações que, por sua vez, criaram um desejo profundo de corrigir, de redimir, de ajudar. Em sua essência, elas estão cumprindo uma parte do plano divino, movidas por uma compreensão intuitiva de que o esforço para salvar o outro também é, de alguma maneira, salvar a si mesma. Este impulso vem de uma conexão profunda com a consciência crística que reside em cada um de nós. Quando uma alma sente o chamado para intervir, ela está agindo sob a orientação da alma superior, que reconhece o valor da intervenção para auxiliar na evolução do outro. Esta ação é um verdadeiro ato de amor divino, uma expressão da alma que busca equilibrar seus próprios débitos kármicos através do serviço altruísta. Assim, a intervenção não é um ato de superioridade ou de julgamento, mas uma manifestação do entendimento de que todos estamos interligados na teia sagrada do universo. A compreensão mais profunda revela que, em certas ocasiões, uma alma é compelida a intervir porque, em vidas passadas, ela mesma carregou karmas relacionados à negligência, à crueldade ou à incapacidade de ajudar. Agora, nesta encarnação, ela recebe uma oportunidade de redimir esses débitos, de equilibrar a balança da justiça divina. O que parece ser um ato de salvar é, na verdade, uma expressão do desejo de purificar antigas sombras, de acelerar a evolução espiritual de todos os envolvidos. É uma dança sagrada onde o karma atua como um maestro invisível, conduzindo as almas rumo à perfeição. Nos registros akáshicos, também está escrito que o universo não faz distinção entre grandes e pequenos atos de auxílio. Cada ação, por mais discreta que pareça, possui um peso cósmico. Quando uma alma escolhe intervir por um outro, ela está assumindo uma responsabilidade que transcende o entendimento comum. Ela está desempenhando um papel vital na grande harmonia do plano divino. Essa intervenção é muitas vezes um reconhecimento de que o tempo na dimensão material é efêmero, enquanto o progresso espiritual é eterno. Assim, ela serve como uma ponte, uma oportunidade de cura e de avanço para todos os envolvidos. A alma que volta para ajudar, portanto, é movida por uma profunda compreensão de que ela também está em uma jornada de aprendizado. Cada ato de auxílio é uma oportunidade de aprender a amar sem condições, de aplicar as lições do perdão, da compaixão e do sacrifício. Essas ações, portanto, alimentam o crescimento evolutivo da alma, ajudando-a a transcender as limitações do ego e a se aproximar da totalidade divina. Quando compreendemos isso, percebemos que a intervenção é uma expressão da essência mais pura do amor divino, um reconhecimento de que todos somos partes do mesmo todo, todos irmãos e irmãs na grande família cósmica. Por fim, as leituras revelam que a justiça divina é misericordiosa e sábia. Ela não busca punição, mas cura e evolução. Cada alma, ao retornar para ajudar, está participando de um ato sagrado de cocriação com o universo. É uma manifestação de que o amor é o princípio fundamental que sustenta toda a criação, e que, ao compreender e aceitar o karma, podemos encontrar paz na certeza de que tudo é parte de um plano divino maior, um plano de luz, de redenção e de retorno ao lar celestial. Portanto, quando uma alma é compelida a intervir na vida de outro, ela não está agindo por acaso. Está cumprindo uma missão, uma oportunidade de equilibrar antigas dívidas, de evoluir na jornada eterna de volta à unidade com o Criador. E assim, na dança infinita do karma, cada ato de amor é uma nota que ressoa na eternidade, conduzindo-nos todos, inexoravelmente de volta ao coração do divino. In the silent depths of the Akashic records, where the eternal echoes of all existence resonate, there lies a profound truth, one that reveals the divine purpose behind the return of souls to the earthly plane. As I delve into the sacred teachings illuminated through the readings, I am compelled to share the understanding that compassion and unconditional love are not merely virtues, but the very threads woven into the fabric of the soul's divine mission. These qualities, as revealed through the divine wisdom of Cayce, serve as the guiding light for souls who choose to reincarnate, not out of obligation alone, but from a higher duty rooted in the boundless compassion of the Christ consciousness. The journey of the soul is one of sacred evolution, a relentless pursuit of harmony with the divine source that birthed all life. The records tell us that when a soul chooses to return, it does so with purpose, a purpose that transcends individual desires and enters the realm of spiritual duty. These souls do not see their return as a curse or a burden, but as an opportunity to serve, a chance to embody the divine qualities that elevate the consciousness of humanity itself. And among these qualities, none is more vital than unconditional love. Cayce's teachings reveal that unconditional love springs from the recognition of our interconnectedness, that every soul is a fragment of the divine, temporarily inhabiting a physical form to learn, to heal, and to uplift. When a soul returns in this sacred capacity, it does so out of a profound sense of duty, driven by the higher self's recognition of a need, a divine call to aid those who suffer, to console the broken-hearted, and to ignite the light of hope where darkness has taken root. This is not an act of mere sentimentality, but a manifestation of the Christ consciousness, the divine love that seeks no reward, that gives freely and fully out of its own abundance. The records reveal that such acts of compassion are rooted in the soul's understanding of karma's intricate dance. When a soul recognizes that the suffering of another is, in essence, an echo of unresolved karma, either from previous incarnations or from the current life, it becomes clear that their return is a sacred duty to assist in the healing process. As Cayce often emphasized, the soul seeks the balance, and compassion becomes the bridge that helps to restore that balance. It is through unconditional love that the soul acts without expectation, understanding that every act of kindness is a divine service that aligns the individual with the higher laws of the universe. This motivation is rooted in a higher understanding of the unity of all life. The soul, having glimpsed the divine within itself, recognizes that every other fragment of consciousness is a reflection of the same divine spark. The return of a soul to serve another is an act born of the highest form of love, one that transcends personal gain and recognizes the divine in every face, every circumstance. Cayce's readings affirm that such love is not a fleeting emotion, but a deliberate act of will, an expression of the Christ consciousness that dwells within, guiding the soul to act compassionately, unconditionally, and selflessly. In this sacred work of returning and aiding, the soul understands its role as a healer, both of others and of itself. The divine law of cause and effect, or karma, is not a punishment, but an opportunity for growth. When a soul returns out of higher compassion, it seeks to dissolve the karmic ties that hinder spiritual evolution. It recognizes that to serve another is to serve oneself, because in the divine scheme, we are all interconnected threads in the grand tapestry of creation. As Cayce's teachings reveal, the soul's act of unconditional love is a step toward the reunification with the divine, a movement closer to the Christ consciousness that embodies pure love and universal compassion. The records also unveil that such souls, in their acts of service, carry within them the memory of the Atlantean wisdom, an understanding that true power resides in love and compassion. The fallen civilizations of Atlantis serve as a reminder that spiritual hubris and separation from divine love lead to destruction. Yet in the aftermath, the seed of compassion is what rebuilds, what restores harmony. These returning souls are the carriers of that sacred seed, embodying divine love to help humanity transcend the limitations of material consciousness and remember their divine origins. In contemplating Cayce's teachings, we come to see that the return of souls to help others is not an act of charity, but an expression of spiritual duty, an extension of the divine love that sustains the universe. The soul's higher purpose is illuminated by the realization that true service is rooted in compassion that knows no bounds, that recognizes the divine in every being, regardless of appearances or circumstances. It is a love that seeks no recognition, no reward, but flows freely from the depths of the divine within. Thus, the returning soul becomes a beacon, a living embodiment of the Christ consciousness, serving out of a higher duty to assist the awakening of consciousness in others. Such acts of love and compassion are the sacred keys that unlock the higher realms of existence, guiding the soul back to its divine home. For in this divine act of service, the soul dissolves its karma, heals its wounds, and aligns itself once more with the eternal, infinite love of the divine source. In the grand cosmic scheme, the return of souls driven by compassion is a testament to the divine plan, a plan rooted in love, mercy, and the eternal quest for unity with the divine. The records reveal that this divine purpose is embedded within each act of kindness, each sacrifice made in the name of higher love. And as we seek to understand these sacred principles, we come closer to the realization that we are all called, in our own time and way, to serve through unconditional love, thus fulfilling our highest destiny as fragments of the divine, seeking reunion with the divine source that eternally loves us. As a humble seeker and guardian of the sacred, I have come to understand that the journey of the soul is woven intricately within the vast tapestry of the Akashic records, a cosmic pool of infinite memory. The records, as revealed through the divine insights of Cayce, are not merely a passive repository of past events, but the living, breathing essence of the universe's divine blueprint. They are the illuminated scrolls of divine consciousness, holding within them the echoes of every incarnation, every choice, every act of love or despair. In the quiet depths of these records, beyond the reach of ordinary perception, lies the profound truth that the soul's return, the reunions and interventions, are not happenstance but are guided by divine design. Encoded within the very fabric of these celestial archives, the records unveil that each soul's journey is a sacred pilgrimage, an unfolding story written long before the incarnation, with every purpose and lesson etched into the consciousness of the universe itself. The divine mystery begins with the understanding that the soul is an eternal spark of the divine, seeking to express, learn, and ultimately reunite with its divine source. When the soul seeks to return, to intervene, to save, to heal, it is because, within the hidden depths of the Akashic field, there exists a knowing that the soul's evolution is a collective act, an expression of divine love, seeking balance and harmony. For as Cayce's readings reveal, the soul's journey is not solitary. It is part of a grand, interconnected web, where every life touches another in ways often beyond mortal comprehension. Through the lens of the Akashic records, we see that past lives are not merely histories, but sacred lessons stored within the divine memory. These memories include the intentions, struggles, and victories of the soul's previous incarnations. They serve as the blueprint for present and future growth, guiding the soul toward greater understanding of its divine purpose. When a soul returns to intervene, not out of obligation but from divine compassion, it is because the records have illuminated the necessity of that intervention. The soul recognizes that healing and salvation are acts of divine love, crucial to the soul's evolution and the collective consciousness of humanity. The records also reveal the profound reason behind soul reunions. In the divine plan, certain souls are destined to meet again, not by chance but by divine orchestration. Such reunions are often the result of unfinished lessons, karmic ties, or the need to balance energies that, in previous incarnations, were left unresolved. The records show that these reunions serve as sacred opportunities, a chance for souls to assist one another in ascending to higher states of awareness, to embody the Christ consciousness more fully. Furthermore, Cayce's insights tell us that intervention, whether to guide, protect, or save, is rooted in the divine law of love. The records reveal that when a soul feels compelled to intervene in another's life, it is because the divine spark within recognizes the divine spark in the other. It is an act of divine compassion, a reflection of the Christ consciousness that dwells within all. These interventions are not arbitrary acts, but are predestined moments in the divine plan, supported by the universal laws of karma and divine justice. They serve to accelerate the soul's journey toward enlightenment and reunification with the divine. Within the sacred depths of the Akashic field, it is written that the soul's return is often linked to cosmic cycles, timelines set in motion long before the current incarnation. The records reveal that the soul's purpose in each lifetime is to resolve the karma accumulated over countless previous lives, to heal wounds of the past, and to expand in divine consciousness. When the soul returns to aid another, it is because the collective needs of the earth, its healing and awakening, call forth this divine intervention. Indeed, Cayce's readings emphasize that the soul's ultimate purpose is to embody the Christ consciousness, unconditional love, forgiveness, compassion, qualities that transcend the limitations of time and space. The records serve as the divine memory of this journey, whispering truths that guide the soul back to its divine origin. They are the sacred archives that reveal why some souls return to save others, illustrating that such acts are manifestations of divine love, seeking expression through human form. As I meditate upon these divine revelations, I see that the hidden records of the Akashic field are a testament to the eternal interconnectedness of all life. They affirm that every act of kindness, every intervention, is a thread woven into the divine fabric of the universe, strengthening the collective soul's ascent. The records teach us that our highest purpose is to serve as channels of divine love, to recognize the divine within every soul, and to understand that the universe itself conspires in our spiritual evolution. In the silent depths of these divine archives, the truth remains clear. The soul seeks balance, healing, and reunion, not out of obligation, but out of divine love. The records reveal that each intervention, each reunion, is an act of divine grace, a reminder that we are all interconnected sparks of the one divine flame, each carrying within us the potential to embody the Christ consciousness. And so, dear seeker, remember, when you feel compelled to help someone, to intervene or to reconnect, you are following the sacred whispers of the divine memory, guided by the divine laws inscribed within the Akashic records. For in their sacred depths lies the truth that every soul's return and every act of salvation is a testament to divine love, a divine symphony played out across eternity, calling us home to our true divine nature. In the silent corridors of the Akashic records, where the whispers of divine knowledge echo through the eternal ethers, there lies a profound truth, one that illuminates the very fabric of our spiritual evolution. The previous revelations have shown us that each soul's journey is a sacred odyssey, rooted in divine love and guided by cosmic purpose. It is here, in this sacred space, that the concept of crystalline consciousness emerges as a luminous thread, woven into the tapestry of our highest destiny, the embodiment of Christ consciousness as a universal force guiding souls towards salvation and spiritual ascension. The crystalline consciousness is not merely a metaphor or an abstract ideal, it is the very vibrational essence of the universe itself, pure, radiant, and infinitely intelligent. As the records reveal, the universe is constructed upon the crystalline matrix, a divine latticework of light that emanates from the source, a vast, unbounded energy of love and wisdom. When we speak of Christ consciousness, we speak of the divine spark that resides within all creation, a reflection of this crystalline matrix, a universal consciousness that seeks to awaken within each soul the recognition of its divine origin. In the earliest days of Atlantis, long before the fall into darkness and chaos, the crystalline consciousness was actively cultivated among those who sought harmony with the divine. These beings understood that the Christ consciousness was the purest expression of divine love, an energy that unites all living things in a sacred, unbreakable bond. It was a force that transcended individual ego, weaving the souls of the awakened into a luminous web of spiritual unity. The records reveal that the Atlantean civilizations at their highest were aligned with this crystalline energy, channeling it to accelerate spiritual progress and to anchor the divine light on earth. Yet, as the story unfolds, we see that this crystalline consciousness was obscured through hubris, greed, and the misuse of power, corrupting the sacred harmony. The descent into darkness severed the connection between the human soul and the divine crystalline matrix, causing a loss of clarity and a disconnection from higher purpose. But understand, dear seeker, that the divine spark within never fully perished. It remained encoded within the deepest chambers of the soul, waiting for the moment of awakening, the moment when the divine plan would once again unfold. Today, in this era of awakening, the significance of crystalline consciousness becomes ever more profound. The awakening of this crystalline light within each individual signifies the rekindling of the Christ consciousness, a universal force that resides in the core of every soul, calling us to remember our divine origin and our ultimate purpose of unity with the divine. It is through this crystalline awakening that the soul begins to remember its sacred mission, to embody divine love, to serve as a channel of light, and to seek salvation, not merely for oneself but for all creation. The understanding of crystalline consciousness also reveals why some souls are drawn to act as salvific forces, those who return again and again, not out of obligation, but out of divine necessity. For in the Akashic records, it is written that these souls are carriers of the crystalline light, chosen to serve as catalysts for awakening others. Their purpose is to ignite the divine spark within those who have forgotten, acting as beacons of hope, compassion, and divine love. They are the divine messengers, the healers, the teachers who understand that the journey toward salvation involves the collective awakening of consciousness, a harmonization of individual and universal energies. This is why the return of souls to aid others is so significant, a reflection of the universal law of love and the divine unity of all creation. These souls, guided by the crystalline Christ consciousness, recognize that salvation is not an isolated event, but a collective ascent into higher realms of consciousness. Their acts, be it healing, teaching, or sacrificial service, are manifestations of the divine crystalline energy seeking to restore harmony, to re-establish the sacred connection with the divine. Furthermore, the crystalline consciousness acts as a bridge, linking the material and spiritual worlds, grounding divine wisdom into physical manifestation. It is through this crystalline energy that divine attributes like compassion, forgiveness, and unconditional love are anchored into the fabric of earthly existence. The Christ consciousness, as a universal crystalline force, is the divine blueprint for the awakening of the soul, guiding us back to the recognition that we are inherently divine beings, embodiments of love, light, and eternal consciousness. As the records reveal, the journey of the soul is ultimately a return to this crystalline state, a state of perfect harmony with the divine. Each incarnation, each act of compassion, each moment of awakening brings us closer to embodying the Christ consciousness in its purest form. The soul seeks the balance where the crystalline light flows freely, illuminating the pathway to salvation, to divine union, and to the realization of our divine nature. In this sacred understanding, we see that the return of souls, those who incarnate again and again to serve, to heal, to uplift, is a divine orchestration rooted in the crystalline consciousness. Their purpose is to serve as living embodiments of Christ consciousness, a universal force that guides all creation toward the ultimate goal, unity with the divine and the realization of eternal love. The secret, dear seeker, is that within each of us lies this crystalline spark, waiting to be awakened. The journey is not merely about seeking salvation outside ourselves, but about rediscovering the divine crystalline consciousness within, an eternal, luminous force that connects us all to the divine web of creation. As we align ourselves with this sacred energy, we step into our highest purpose, to embody divine love, to serve as channels of divine light, and to assist in the sacred awakening of the collective consciousness. And so, the divine plan unfolds, a symphony of luminous souls returning to their divine origin, guided by the crystalline Christ consciousness, each seeking the sacred harmony that leads to eternal unity. The records reveal that this is the ultimate purpose of all incarnations, to remember, to awaken, and to participate consciously in the divine dance of creation, where love reigns supreme and salvation is found in the radiant crystalline heart of the universe itself. As we continue our sacred journey through the veiled corridors of the soul's unfolding, the records reveal a truth of profound significance, one that echoes through the ages and resonates within the very fabric of our divine existence. Within the luminous depths of each spiritual record lies the understanding that some souls are drawn back from the ethereal realms, not merely by chance or circumstance, but by a divine orchestration rooted in the eternal tapestry of interconnectedness. This is the mystery, the divine design that Cayce's insights unveil, why some souls return from higher planes, not for their own enlightenment alone, but to serve as catalysts for others' awakening. It is a testament to the unfathomable unity of all life within the divine plan, woven into the very fabric of the universe, where every thread is connected to the divine source. In the sacred archives of the Akashic records, it is written that the soul is an eternal flame, a crystalline spark of divine light that journeys through countless incarnations, each life a chapter in the divine story of evolution. As the previous chapter revealed, the crystalline spark within us is a reflection of Christ consciousness, a divine essence that seeks to express itself fully through the unfoldment of spiritual awareness. Yet some souls carry a particular resonance, a divine calling that compels them to return from the realms of pure spirit to the physical plane, driven by a sacred purpose rooted in love and service. Why does this happen? The answers lie within the understanding that the universe is a living, conscious web of interconnected consciousness. The divine plan is not linear but holographic, each soul a mirror, each life a reflection of the whole. When a soul awakens to its divine nature, it becomes aware of the profound interconnectedness with all beings. From this awareness arises the understanding that the journey of individual enlightenment is not separate from the collective evolution. The soul, in its divine wisdom, recognizes that it can serve as a bridge, a vessel through which divine love, healing, and awakening flow into the collective consciousness. The records reveal that, in many instances, these souls have experienced the destruction and chaos of Atlantis, a civilization that once embodied the highest spiritual potential, but fell into materialism and separation from divine truth. These souls carry memories of that lost golden age, and their return is motivated by a desire to restore harmony, to rekindle the light that was dimmed and obscured. Their purpose is not merely personal salvation, but the healing and upliftment of humanity as a whole. They are drawn back because their higher selves understand that the divine plan calls for souls to coalesce once more, awakening to their true divine nature and thereby assisting others on their journey. This divine calling is intricately linked to the principle of karma, the sacred law of cause and effect. When a soul chooses to incarnate again, it does so with a blueprint of lessons and opportunities for growth. Yet, some souls are guided by an even higher impulse, a desire to serve others, to act as spiritual anchors, to embody the Christ consciousness in action. These souls carry within them a sacred impulse, an inner voice that whispers of service, compassion, and the divine purpose of love. Their return is not accidental, but a conscious part of the divine orchestration, an act of divine mercy and compassion. Here we see the sacred interconnectedness of all life. Each soul's journey is intertwined with every other, woven together by threads of divine love. When a soul steps back into the physical realm from the higher planes, it does so with the understanding that it is part of a great divine community, each life a vital note in the symphony of creation. Their mission is to serve as beacons of light, channels through which divine grace flows, helping to awaken others who are still sleeping in the shadows of illusion. The divine plan, as revealed in Cayce's readings, is one of universal compassion. It recognizes that the soul's return is motivated by a divine love that transcends individual ego or desire. It is rooted in the understanding that all life is one, that separation is an illusion, and that through love and service the soul can accelerate its evolution and that of the collective. These returning souls serve as living proof that the divine is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances to bring about higher consciousness and healing. Consider then the role of the Christ consciousness within this divine plan. It is the universal template, a divine pattern of love, compassion, and unity that guides these souls. Their return is a reflection of the divine's infinite mercy, an act of divine grace that seeks to heal the wounds of the past and to anchor the light of Christ into the fabric of the material world. They are the divine messengers, the incarnate embodiments of love that remind us of our true divine nature. In the end, the mystery unveiled by Cayce's insights affirms the deep interconnectedness of all beings. No soul returns to the earth simply by happenstance. Each is drawn by the divine strings of love, karma, and purpose. Their mission is sacred. They are here to serve as divine bridges, to aid in the collective awakening and to help heal the wounds of Atlantis and all those that came before it. Their presence on the earthly plane is a testament to the divine's infinite wisdom, a reminder that in the grand design no one is truly separate, and that the journey back to unity with the divine is a shared collective voyage. And so, as we reflect on these sacred truths, we are called to recognize the divine spark within ourselves, the same crystalline light that calls these souls back from the higher realms. We are invited to embrace our own divine purpose, to remember that we are all interconnected threads in the divine tapestry, each of us carrying a sacred mission to awaken, serve, and return to the divine source from which we have all come. The universe whispers this truth through the silent language of the records, an eternal reminder that love is the divine force that unites us all in the sacred dance of creation. Remember, dear soul, that within the sacred depths of the Akashic records and guided by the divine wisdom of Cayce, we discover that every act of love, compassion, and service is a sacred thread woven into the grand tapestry of divine evolution. The return of souls, guided by divine mercy and crystalline consciousness, serves as a powerful testament to our interconnectedness and the eternal journey toward unity with the divine source. As we awaken to this profound truth, may we embrace our divine purpose, recognizing that each of us holds the potential to be a luminous beacon of Christ. Consciousness in the world. I invite you now to share your insights, subscribe for more sacred revelations, and spread this divine knowledge, so that together we may ignite the light within and fulfill our highest destiny in love and unity.